Hey everybody, it's April Henry back again for my 25th Facebook Live. I think I'm going to be doing these forever. And after I'm done, I'll post it on my website, aprilhenry.com, and my YouTube channel, which is also called April Henry. Today is an Ask Me Anything. So if you want to ask me a question, go ahead, and I'll either get to it today or I will get to it in a future talk. So today's lipstick is some Burt's Bees um, colored uh, colored chapstick I found. So dee and this shirt is my favorite rash guard of all. It always makes me feel super happy. It's another one by YM, and I wore through one on the elbow. It's kind of a little bit flimsy, and I was very depressed, but eBay will give you everything eventually. So I put on a watch list, and every day eBay would show me anybody that had any new YM shirts for sale. And one day this popped up, and I bought it, so my shirt has come back to me. So I'm going to talk a little bit about theme because someone asked me about theme the other day. They said they were having trouble working it into their first chapter. And I think sometimes teachers may err in asking their students, what is the theme of the novel? And I get asked that by students all the time who are wanting me to help them with their homework. They'll be like, what is the theme of your book? And I think I'm like many authors in that I do not consciously set out with a theme in mind and write a book to support a theme. It's more that people, I think, set out with a plot or they set out with a character they like, but it's not like they're like, I'm going to present this theme of how we all need to pull together or whatever their theme is to the world. That just comes up naturally. So in some ways, I think if you're struggling trying to put your theme in the first part of your novel, then I wouldn't worry about it so much. You can come back and add it in later. You might not actually know what the theme of your book is until you're done. I've had books where I have carefully thought about the theme, written the book, and then how it comes out maybe doesn't support that theme at all and supports a different theme. However, if you are really wanting to have a theme in there and you feel like um, it's important to you, that is the main reason you're writing your book. You have to be careful you're not writing like a book that starts feeling like it's just a message book and kind of almost like propaganda. I mean, you need to have it be subservient to the quality of your story. But if you're feeling that you really need to have a strong theme in there, one book that I like about writing, and I'm going to be talking about books that I like next week because I've run out of makeup and clothes to talk about, is called Save the Cat Writes a Novel. It's by Jessica Brody, who also lives in the Portland area. She moved here a few years ago, and she wrote it based on a book called Save the Cat that Blake Snyder wrote. He unfortunately died a few years ago, but his book was for screenwriters, but a lot of novelists used it too. She started teaching about it, and then she ended up working with these people to write Save the Cat Writes a Novel. So if you're going to have you want your theme to be explicit, she says that you should, she says it's what the story is about, the message, the truth, the thing that your main character needs to learn. Well, she feels that in the setup that they should hear the theme stated, like maybe just in passing or someone mentions it to them. They hear someone say we all need to work together. In my book Run, Hide, Fight Back, the main character sees a person working for the Salvation Army, and I gave the Salvation Army a new slogan that she looks at and is dismissive of. So she says that at the start of the novel, your hero hears this and 100% ignores the person because um, they don't that she feels that you should have the theme stated by a secondary character, like a passerby, a fellow traveler on the bus, a nemesis, and the main character dismisses it and doesn't believe it. And then over the course of the book, they're going to need to find the truth of that. She also says later in the book, there is usually a discussion about the theme, the nugget of truth, between the main character, and a lot of times it's between them and the love interest. So I don't know if that will help you with theme. Again, it's not something I think about explicitly a lot. So moving on, I'm going to give you a quick tutorial on handcuffs. So these are Peerless handcuffs, or it's a Peerless design. It was not copyrighted, but trademarked. No, that's not even the right word. Patented in 1912. They haven't really changed since then. You have this swing through ratchet, so that you put it on, you put it around somebody's wrist, and a lot of people will show you how to get out of handcuffs. There's basically, and they will often skip over the two different ways that you might need to get out of handcuffs. One way is to catch these teeth here with like a flat piece of metal. I found this when I was running. I don't know if it's part of a windshield wiper, but by pressing in the piece of metal and your ratchet, it should catch the teeth and then allow you, sorry, I'm trying to make it so you guys can see it, allow you to open it up. Another piece of metal you might be able to use is from like one of these snappy barrettes. If you break it in half, they're actually the perfect size. They'll fit right in a little bit easier than that piece of metal, which was thicker. And you can use that to catch your ratchet, that ridged edge. You push it in at the same time, it catches, and then it creates a barrier to the teeth and they open up. Now, if you do that wrong, you've just made your cuffs tighter, and people in tight handcuffs you're going to get bruised. It's going to hurt. You might cut off your circulation. So that's one way to get out. The other way is to create something that resembles a key. Now look at this key. This is like the simplest thing you've ever seen. It barely qualifies as a key. And all keys are universal. So this key should technically open up all handcuffs. So you just need something that has a little nub on it, like the actual key. Let's see if I can put it against a black background. So one thing that you could use, and that prisoners have used before, is if you have a binder clip, when you take out the metal part of the binder, it's actually bent at a 90-degree angle, and it makes a perfect key. So if you, let's see, I'll just move this up a little bit. If you put that in to your key slot, you bend it back, and then that, sorry, trying to make it on your screen, that should create enough tension to open up your handcuff. I'm not doing a very good job. I should have practiced this more. So there we go. No, I don't like that. Okay, I'm going to try a different thing. Here is a roller pin. It's like a bobby pin, but it's bigger. If you guys are ever running in handcuffs and you get trapped someplace, go to a parking lot and look around on the ground. You're going to find lots of little things that you could use to open up your handcuffs. So there, I've just slid it in, pulled it back, and it opens up the handcuff. So again, this is a roller pin. You can also use bobby pins, paper clips that you've straightened out. You just need to create a little tiny bend. Now you'll see that on YouTube all the time. You'll see people showing you how to get out of handcuffs. But what they neglect to say is that if a cop handcuffs you, first of all, they're going to handcuff you with your hands behind your back, and you're going to put the backs of your hands together behind your back, and they're going to put the holes pointing up. It makes it way harder to pick. If you're flexible, maybe you can do it, but it's harder. The other thing that happens is you're going to use that little end on the back of the key. They're going to press this little tiny button here, and that is going to cause a second lock to engage. And once you do that, then not only is your handcuff locked with one lock, it's locked with two. So all your ideas about putting something in that catches the ratchet, it doesn't work because the ratchet is no longer moving. By locking that second lock, the Cop is making it so that your handcuffs don't get smaller as maybe you wiggle around, and they're keeping you safe. They're also keeping themselves safe because it's much harder to pick your way out of double locked handcuffs. To do that, you're going to have to put your bobby pin in this hole and turn it one way to open the first lock and turn it a second way to open the second lock. It is much harder. My husband used to call me Rain Man because I'd sit around with handcuffs and try to figure out how to make it work. I'm not even going to try and demo it because I haven't done it for a long time. If you're really into figuring out how to get out of handcuffs and you think it might be a cool party trick or whatever, you can buy a single see-through handcuff that has a plastic covering over it, and you can watch what happens when you put a key in or when you try one of your implements, and you can watch it and get an idea. They also sell see-through locks for people who are learning lock picking. So, and you can buy this on Amazon. Um, so that's my little tutorial today. And again, I would say that getting out of handcuffs is not as easy as they might make it look on YouTube. Also, some cops these days are using hinged cuffs, which have a hinge down the middle, and they're very uncomfortable. They only put them on people they don't like, but like a little old lady's probably not going to get cuffed in those. But they're almost impossible to get enough give to pick your way out. But if you're ever in handcuffs, you're like in a horror movie and you're chained to a pipe down in a deserted house in the basement, there is something on your person that you could use to get out of handcuffs. I have used a watch prong. I might have earrings. I might have a necklace. I might have glasses that I could break and get the metal out of, maybe a belt buckle. There's something metal small that you could use to either slip in between the ratchet or use as a fake key. So that's all my word tips for the day. I will see you back here on Monday at 10 a.m. when I will start a whole new round of videos. You guys have a great weekend. Bye-bye.